ever felt like they were less than a welcome member of society because of their faith or who they were, or what they believed. I had lots of time to ponder things. I wondered what I had done to this flight attendant from American Airlines that caused him this much pain, that he, as a grown man, felt justified and uplifted by taking his pound of flesh. What had I done to him personally? Did I wrong him personally? Or was he just taking his pound of flesh and acting out for the collective? Would he tell stories later in the day about how he treated me? Would he revel in those stories as he told his friends? Would he laugh? Would they laugh and jeer with him and tell him how proud they were of his behavior? I wondered if a guy like this flight attendant for American Airlines, if he were in a group of like-minded people and that group of people were in power, I wonder if he and his friends would feel it rational to march me through the streets with a sign around my neck, mocking and frightening anyone away who might want to stand with me. I wondered. Surely not. This somehow was different. This was just a small indignity. I prayed a lot on the plane. I, as a man, wanted to say something but figured we'd end up landing in a city that I didn't want to be in. I just wanted to go home. So I didn't say anything. And then I prayed. I thought about Billy Graham. I thought the leader of my church a lot. I thought about the teachings of Jesus. And gee, none of them really could break through because I was filled with a lot of anger. But I got up and I decided, what is the one thing I can say that will understand so he can recognize that I recognized his point, but also say something true and kind. And I decided after the weekend that I had had in New York, where nobody really treated my children any differently than they did me, they were acting for the collective, on the collective, I realized he was the only man that treated my children differently than me. While he treated me as a subhuman, he treated my children nicely. So, as I was deplaning, as he was standing next to the pilot, I said to him, I want to sincerely thank you for not treating my children the way you treated me. His response, it was my pleasure. You deserved it. The pilot didn't say anything. Nor did the other passengers, but they probably didn't know what was going on. I remembered yesterday, as I was driving home from the airport, the airlines used to make an announcement at the end of the flight that says, we know you have a choice in airlines, and we're glad that you chose us. I wondered if American Airlines was happy that I chose them. Are they happy that other conservatives even fly in their planes? Are they glad to be based in Texas, or is this just an unfortunate stopover on the way to one of those many liberal cities their employees are so proud of? I know yesterday I did have a choice, and I chose wrong. I chose to fly with American Airlines. I do have a choice, and my family will never choose American Airlines again. I and my family will choose another carrier. If this is the kind of people that American Airlines likes to hire in the service industry. You see, I grew up in a family-run business. The customer is always right, is what my father taught me. I wasn't trying to make a point. I just wanted to be treated as a human. Apparently, that's not the way at American Airlines anymore, unless they vote the way you do. Unless you vote the way they do. I lost my cool as I walked off the plane after I was told I deserved to be treated worse than any airline attendant would have treated a dog. I shouldn't have lost my temper. Last night I prayed that I would be forgiven for all the things that I may have done to divide and to be given guidance on how to unite. I have made mistakes. We all have. We all have choices to make. And I have tried to make the highest possible choice. No matter my choice yesterday, I can make a new one today. We all have to if we're going to survive. No matter who wins, tough times are coming, like it or not, we're in this one together. We have to be better than we have been in the past. And we have to expect it not from others, but also from ourselves. We are not the side shouting down, indoctrinating kids in institutions, making them fear expressing a different opinion or failing their class. All the while, their professors are hiding behind tenure to protect intellectual diversity. We're not blacklisting those who have a different opinion or a lifestyle. We know that actors lead lives that don't reflect ours. We don't shun their movies. We don't boycott their movies. We connect where we can, and the rest is up to them. Hillary Clinton said during the last election that she was tired of being made feel un-American just because she disagreed with this president's opinion. I remember it clearly. I'll go a step further. I'm tired of being treated as a criminal, a disease, mentally challenged, stupid, or subhuman, just because I happen to believe that the founders weren't racists, that the Constitution was and still is inspired in the greatest document for government ever created, that the military is not full of a bunch of baby killers, or that we shouldn't spend the money that we don't have, or that we should stick up for the little guy, the small business owner, that the corrupt businessman should go to jail, and that capitalism is still the best system to lift people out of poverty. I will not shy away from saying proudly that I believe in God, that I believe churchgoers in all churches get a bad rap. We are good people, and the reason. Christians are the reason the Nazis were stopped, slavery was stopped, and man was eventually set free all over the planet. It was Christians that did it. I'm sorry that you might find that offensive, or that I go to church and you find that offensive, or that I happen to go to the wrong church and you find that offensive, but I will not apologize for what I believe in or who I am, because what I believe in compels me to stand up for you and your right to be who you are. I'd just like to be treated with a little dignity along the way. Thank you, American Airlines, for making my next flight an easier choice.